Holly Cotton here, and I am so excited about our guest today. So, I have Chef Christian Green, and he is going to tell us all about how he found culinary as a passion. He's going to tell us about his experience on a show, and also we're going to talk about all of the products that he has now. So, you guys make sure you're going to support him at the end. So, welcome, Chef Christian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me this evening.
Yes, of course. Okay, so first of all, I'm from Louisiana, so I always have to represent. I got to put everybody in Louisiana on the map. Like that's just my philosophy in
There you
life.
go.
Whole team winning. so so
There
before we get
you go.
into
Wholesome hospitality.
yeah, we just got to support each other. We got to support each other. So before we get into all of the stuff that Chef Christian does, tell us about Christian Green and how he found culinary as his passion.
As you guys know, I'm Chef Christian. I started cooking at a young age. I started cooking when I was in ninth grade. The passion and the love came from my late grandmother. She was a cafeteria lady. She was one of the lead cooks in Manning, Louisiana, and also just being up north, growing up in Boston, Massachusetts, having an opportunity to go to a technical vocational high school, and I just fell in love with it. I enjoy doing what I do, and had an opportunity to go on season 5, season 12 of Masterchef, where I was on the show season 5. I was a finalist on the show. Then I had an opportunity to go back on the show All Stars and be a finalist. I went all the way down to I came in second place actually on the show. So I've been cooking for over about 20 years, and yeah, I love what I do. I have an amazing son. He just turned 15 years old, and yeah, I have my own brand. I can keep going on and on and on.
So I love that you talked about grandparents and that your grandmother was a huge influence in sort of finding this passion. I actually just had a conversation with someone the other day and they were talking about how this new generation of grandmas don't do that kind of stuff anymore and they aren't cooking and showing kids how to do stuff and nurturing and things like that. And I'll be honest, I'm a grandmother and I don't have a garden. So I'm trying to be the hot grandma. I'm an auntie, not a grandma. So
So, so in all actuality, you're a G mom.
anyway, let's just sweep that to the side. We don't even need to talk about that, Christian. So, so go back in time for me and explain to me because I know that like my dad and my grandparents taught me how my grandfather taught me how to shoot but I never decided I wanted to be a FBI agent. So when did it hit you that you really knew how to cook and that this could be something that you could do as a career?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was always an athlete. You know, Playing football, running track was my first love. Cooking was really just a backup, something that I really enjoyed doing, like when I wasn't, playing sports or anything like that. So when I had an opportunity to go on MasterChef season 5, um, and I did as well as I did, something just told me like, yo, this is what you need to be doing. You know what I mean? And I used to cook for friends and family and whatnot, and they was like, your food is amazing, your food is good, but I didn't have the confidence in my food. So when I cooked for different people and then had the opportunity to cook for Gordon Ramsay, and he was like, dude, you can cook. That's when it was validated, that yeah, you need to take this, you need to take it serious. Yeah.
So, how did you get on the show? Like, what was the tryout? Because if you're doing like, say, if I was going on American Gladiators, I know that they're looking for me to be able to jump over stuff or fight
Yeah.
people. So, what is the tryout process for MasterChef? Like, what was that?
A lot, a lot, you know. Well, the first season was really nerve wracking, and the way how everything went down, I went to a hotel. They tried my crawfish Creole lasagna. and he was like, yeah, this is good. You made it to the next round. And it was always about rounds. And then I had an opportunity to get flown out to LA, and it was like 100 other contestants and whatnot. So just the process of everything was a headache, but to be honest, it was well worth it. Well worth it, definitely.
Well, it's almost like one of those things in life, I think, where you have to weed out the people who really want it. And so they make it so challenging because if you really want it, you're going to do all those tests. You're going to do
Yeah,
everything.
definitely. And honestly, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. The lady that I was engaged to at the time, she was like, "Yo, you should do MasterChef," and I'm like, "What is MasterChef?" So when we Googled MasterChef, I was like, "Oh, okay," but I was like, "These people went to culinary school. I ain't never been in no culinary school. I'm self-taught." So she was like, "You should do it." So one day she came home with the application, and she was like, "Here you go. You need to fill this out." So I filled it out and went down to the audition, and the rest is history.
I love that. I love that. Okay, and this is my last question about MasterChef. But it's such a
There you go.
it's a major part of, like you said, the defining moments of who Chef Christian is today. So, wh- go back in time for us with that as well. Sort of rewind and tell us, because I did Google some of the episodes so I could kind of see you in on action mode and stuff like that. So give us a little bit of like some of the episodes, some of the funny things that maybe happened during the episodes. Give us some of your greatest moments when you were on MasterChef. Give us the background, because we see what it looks like now that it's all squeaky and
Which
edited. And
season? Which season are you speaking of?
I want the first season where you were a virgin, you ain't know nothing, you was going into it raw.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, the first season was I didn't know what I was getting myself into. All I knew was, okay, Christian, you just gotta cook, and they gotta like it. Regardless of how it come out, they just gotta like it, and it has to taste good. And whenever the judges would ask me anything, I'll tell them, as long as it tastes good, we good. You know, and having the background working in the restaurant industry a little bit, but just being on TV and being in front of those type of chefs, it was just a whole nother level. But I did it. I did it to the point where they wanted me to come back and do another additional season.
So whenever you went to season 2, how did that happen? How did they bring you back? How did that pan out?
Well, after the pandemic, of course, during the pandemic, a lot of stuff was shut down. So when all the shows was coming back, they got in contact with a lot of the contestants, and they had my old contact information. And one of the contact information that I had was one of my emails that I never use anymore. So one of the producers reached out to me on social media on Instagram, and it was like, I'm Blase Cetera Boom. I'm doing cast for MasterChef All Stars. We would love. Are you interested in ever coming back? So, at that time, I was like, why not? I told myself, if I ever have an opportunity to go back on the show, I'm gonna go back on the show because I came in fifth season 5, and then when they reached back out to me, I was like, yes, definitely. So, got back on the show and did my thing. I was the most consistent cook. 2 covenant pins. I was captain twice, won both battles. Um, it was just a great experience. I mean, I really did my thing. Never was at the bottom for any of my dishes. When people see me and they recognize me, they tell me all the time, like, yo, you should have won. It was your season to win. You know what I mean? But not to take away from the winner, with the experience that I've gained from the show and the experience that I've gained with my alone time being in the kitchen. Sometimes not always about the win. You know what I mean? It's about just getting out there, showing what you can do, and just the opportunity. And that's basically what it was. I have a son, and I always used to tell my son, and still tell him to this day, regardless of whatever you go through in life, you can overcome anything. And having an opportunity to go back to the show and to go all the way to the finale, to have my family in the stands, have my son in the stands, and Gordon Ramsay come up to me and was like, yo, bro, you did your thing, man. You shouldn't even be disappointed in the outcome or whatever it may be. And the young lady that won, her name was Dara and she was 21. So young chef coming up. So on the level of business, I understand. Like even though I didn't get it, I mean, she's young. It's what looks good for the brand. Not to say that Masterchef, they don't want me to win, but I feel like she's 21. She was on Masterchef Junior, and she was a great cook too.
Right, right, right. Yeah. I think it's kind of like that also, like, so first, I think that's similar to how they always say get in the room. Like whenever you're networking, they're like get in the room. You never know who you're going to meet. So I think that's like the experience of Master Chef as well, because you got in the room, you got the exposure.
Definitely had the opportunity to get in a room, cook for Gordon Ramsay, be in front of Wolfgang Puck, Joe Bastianich, and just to do as well as I did. I would have never ever thought, like, people be walking up, yo, you can cook. We know you can throw down. So I mean, it's dope. And then after the show, for me to have an opportunity to produce my first cookbook, of my background, of where I grew up in the South, and a memory from my grandmother and whatnot. But yeah, it was a great opportunity on the show, and I did my thing. And the crazy thing is, when I was walking out for them to say who was going to be the winner, I say this to everybody. My grandmother whispered in my ear, and she was like, "You job well done." Job well done. And I knew before they called the winner, I knew it wasn't gonna be me. So it didn't bother me as much. But at the end of the day, for me to go in there and do as well as I did, and to be one of the top chefs and be recognized in MasterChef alone was dope. Yeah.
So I'm just waiting on my serving of crawfish lasagna. Isn't that what you said you made for the audition?
Yeah, crawfish Creole lasagna is what I did for the audition. Yes.
I'll be waiting on
Hmm.
my serving so I could give you my expert
It was a
opinion
hit too.
about that.
It was a hit.
I love it. I love it. So, cooking has always been a female dominated field, right? When you think of great cooks, you always think of Paula Dean or, whoever, Ain't Your Mama. I don't know, whatever. It was always a female dominated field. So I love that there is this transition of more male chefs and also great male chefs at that, not just in there cooking up some waffles. Like you guys are actually in there being real chefs. So, do you ever deal with anything negative about you being a male chef? Do your friends say something, or does anyone ever make you feel like they're questioning your manhood by being a
Never,
chef?
never. I don't think you can question my manhood in regards to being a chef. To be honest with you, I really believe it's brownie points for women. Women love chefs. From what I was told, they say chefs are the biggest guarding tool. That's what they say. That's what they say. But I totally disagree. But I don't think that being a chef make me look any different from any occupation out there. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, I played sports, ran track, played football. This was just something that I enjoy doing. It was really more of a therapy that really turned into a lifestyle, that really turned into a career. So I won't say that it's an issue, or they won't need. It's just that simple. They just won't
Do
need.
you feel like it's a challenge to be taken seriously as a male coming into cooking? Like, do you feel like you gotta, like, people automatically assume, especially being a black male at that, do you feel like there is some kind of stigma?
No, I don't think so. I feel like, food is art. Food is art, and everybody have their own style of cooking. And everybody have their own lane that they've created or that they've, gotten into. I just feel like with cooking, you can go different ways with it. I don't feel that it's a competition. People try to make it a competition, but I just look at it as, if you good at what you do, you good at what you do. You know, it's not a competition with me. It's never been. Ever since I did the show, it's never been a competition. I just enjoy doing what I do, and everybody's different. Everybody got their own style of cooking. There's different nationalities out here. So you know, I'm not gonna go to Jamaica and be like, oh, I can cook curry chicken better than you, knowing damn well I probably can't. you know. But I just feel like,
So that's actually
cooking is
what my
cooking.
next question was going to be. How do you define your genre of cooking? How do you describe what Chef Christian's cooking is?
My style of cooking is comforting. Another thing is I can give you define dining. I can give you the purees. I can give you the soul food, Caribbean food. I can give you a whole genre of different styles of cuisines. Now there are other chefs out there that probably can't, but I just feel like with me being in the industry that I'm in, and working with athletes and doing dining experiences that I've done in the past, I feel like you have to be diverse, and that's one of the unique things about me. I'm not afraid of learning. I'm not afraid of learning different backgrounds and
Hmm.
different styles of
Okay.
cooking.
So let's talk about all of your product lines that you have now that have sort of stemmed from everything that you did. So it is food, fashion, taste, catering, FFT. So tell us about your FFT. What does that entail and how did you start? Like what was your first product that you made?
Food fashion taste is where food and fashion collides to make great taste. It's very similar to getting up in the morning and you may be picking out a certain style of clothing that you would like to wear. It's similar to getting in the kitchen using different styles of ingredients to make a dish and whatnot. And it was just one night when I was just sitting on my couch and brands was a big thing coming into, the early, I think it was early 2012, 13, like that. It was getting more and more strong on social media. So I asked myself, I was like, Christian, what are some things that you like? And I was like, I love cooking and I love clothes. I love fashion. So I came up with food, fashion, taste. And when I started food, fashion, taste, it was just catering. I came fresh off of Masterchef. I was just doing catering, weddings and whatnot. In 2016, I produced my first seasoning. It was a low sodium Cajun all purpose seasoning. Then after that, a year later, I produced my lavender garlic herb, which is a low sodium seasoning. And then I also produced my zesty lemon pill seasoning as well. I also have my own personal gumbo base where you're able to make a nice gumbo, not worrying about the root because I did it for you. And then also I'm a cookbook author, working on other additional
Hmm.
products.
Okay. I love. So first of all, I'm all. I be working out too, Christian. So I'm all about the low sodium because I don't need no 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 water retention. I try to stay fine. So I love that. I love that. So what is so I know you said that you had family and whatever. So what is the one dish that your family always asked you to make?
Damn, there's a lot of them. Gumbo for sure. Mom always asking for gumbo, even though I have my own personal base gumbo. Um, Red velvet cake is tatted on my arm, as you can see. Yeah.
That's my favorite dessert, Christian.
Um, oh, my white chocolate strawberry bread pudding. Yeah, true. Um, red beans, collard greens. My beef short rib topped with a chimichurri. Um, my crab cakes. Um, my garlic cream chicken. I can go on and on.
I was about to
I
say,
can go on
okay,
and on.
okay.
There's a few dishes. If I want to
We
go
don't need
Caribbean, jerk chicken is really good. Curry chicken is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't need you to rub it in our face. Okay, I was asking for like two things. I didn't know you was gonna go down the whole
I'll
cookbook.
be I'll be in here experiencing, just cooking, cooking.
I just need to know where Thanksgiving is so I can come get me my slice of red velvet cake. We gonna
To
have
be
to.
honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out Thanksgiving. I'm figuring that out right now. I don't think I'll be with family this year. I may cook, or I may go over a friend's house. I don't know yet. He told me I can come by, but I may have to bring a sweet potato pie or two. Last night I made sweet potato pie, and it came out on point. Yeah.
I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry.
But hey, I know you be cooking. I know you cook. Come on, you from home.
And I meal prep. Don't put my business out there. Don't be putting my business out there, okay?
Y'all be eating. Listen. I know this interview is about me, but I was at home one time and I was going door to door selling cable. And there was a little kid out there and he was skinning a raccoon. A raccoon. And I asked him, I said, hey, what you gonna do with that? He said, I'm taking out the glands so I can eat them. I said, wow, bro, this is what y'all do out here? He said, yeah. I asked the mom, his mom said, yes, yes, sir, this is what we do out here. So I know y'all can throw down in Homer. I know that.
Yes. Well, let me tell you something. When I go home to visit, my family always makes fun of me because they're like, Holly, you act like you didn't grow up like this. And I'm like, listen, don't be mad at me because I don't eat Nutri-Rat no more. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Call me bougie, call me bougetto. I don't care what you say, but I'm not eating that stuff. Nope,
Uh,
nope, no. I do meal prep. I like grilled chicken, asparagus,
okay.
brown rice.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. To be honest, I get tired of seeing all that stuff, dealing with my athletes and stuff like that. But I work out I try to work out every day. But it's hard, all that healthy stuff. It's hard. But I do it.
Well, listen, I'm trying to put you on right now. I'm trying to tell you, like, you know what? You got the low sodium stuff now. You start with something that tastes good for
Yeah.
meal prep
And it
because
tastes really good. It really, really do. Especially my garlic lavender herb. Amazing.
well, I need you to do my grilled chicken because I bet your grilled chicken doesn't taste anything like my grilled chicken.
Hey, probably won't.
Mine is all dry and I got to put barbecue sauce on it.
Use that vegan butter. Base it in vegan butter. Base it in vegan butter. You want that a little more. You want to keep your chicken moist, so base it in vegan butter, fresh herbs, garlic. Bam, you'll thank me later.
Let me take some notes on this here.
Vegan butter, not that, not your grandmama mama butter. Vegan butter. Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna go look for it at Whole Foods.
there you go.
Uh, okay, so back to you. I know that you said that you have a son and you're a family man. And so, do you have anything along this route, on this road, excuse me, it's from, like you said, being in a whole different field of work to now becoming Chef Christian? Do you have anything that you learned along the way that is advice that you wish you could give to younger Christian and that you could pass on to your son?
Honestly, hands down, if there's anything that you want to do, and I tell my son this daily, you can do it. It doesn't matter how long does it take. It's all about time, and you can do it. If you put your mind to it, it can be done. But I also tell him that it's not going to happen overnight. I also tell entrepreneurs out there, up and coming entrepreneurs, you have to really put in the work. You really got to put in the work. Don't think that, you got one deal, you're going to get another deal tomorrow, or that one deal may turn into no more deals for the next couple months or so. And you got to keep your faith. You got to keep your faith. Faith is definitely important. When you're having those days where you're thinking that I ain't doing it right or my business is not working out right. You just got to keep pushing. And that's one of the things that I did, within my business. I started my business in 2015 and I worked hard. Went through the pandemic. I try to break into, look into self reflection to see what I can do better. Everything is all about, change and error. And that was one of the things that, I had to do. So just know that, it's a great feel. It's a great life to be in. I enjoy, being a chef. I enjoy being an entrepreneur. But most important is you got to work hard. You really got to put in the work. I did a 40 city tour, went city to city doing dining experiences. And, there was days where I got up and I didn't want to go to the next city because I was tired. But I had a sacrifice. I sacrificed, missing, um, events for my son. You know, had a sacrifice, and so that's a lot of things that people gotta realize and understand that you gotta sacrifice and you gotta put in the work because success don't come overnight. You really gotta put in that work.
That all great points, definitely great points. So let me ask you last question. How can people find your products? How can people find you? How can people support you? Drop all of that information.
Yeah, definitely go to www.foodfashiontaste.com. You can purchase my product. You can purchase my gumbo, my seasoning, also my cookbook. You can definitely check me out on Instagram, Chef Christian underscore FFT. I'm also on Twitter, Chef Christian underscore FFT. And I'm working on my TikTok. I'm trying to get used to this whole TikTok thing. You know what I mean? My son is teaching me about the whole TikTok. So I'm trying to get this TikTok situation, you know, on point. But yeah, I don't have it. My TikTok is I think it's food fashion taste. No, it's Chef Christian.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna need you to work on TikTok
Yeah,
when you don't even know your TikTok
I,
handle.
I don't even know the handle. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
And you guys, he's definitely about the fashion as well as the food, because I asked him for a headshot and he sends me these GQ pictures, and I'm like, oh, not me. Now I gotta find me a GQ
What's
picture
wrong with
because
that?
I can't
Hey,
have.
I had an opportunity to. I'm actually working with a friend of mine. She's doing a little bit of managing for me and my brand, and she was like, "Christian, you need more pictures. You need more pictures." So my birthday was October 17th. I got in contact with one of my good friends in New Orleans, and I was like, "Hey man, can I do a photo shoot? Like, can we do a photo shoot?" So we decided to do a photo shoot, and it came out great. It came out great. You say the pictures, so I sent you a few.
Yes, what
Be something to
I'm saying.
choose from, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking he
You
about to
know.
send me a little headshot debonair. He sent me all of these GQ fashion magazine photos. I'm like, okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Chef Christian, for sharing your story, using your story to inspire other people to follow their passions. I love that. And you guys, I will have all of Chef Christian's Instagram handle, his TikTok that he forgot the name of, but we'll have it in the podcast notes. We'll have all of his website information and clickable links as well. So that is Chef Christian Green, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.